ITC operates, builds, and maintains the electric transmission infrastructure. We are working hard to improve electric reliability and increase electric commission capacity throughout our operations across the Midwest. ITC, we're your energy superhighway.
The 2015 First in Michigan State Robotics Championship is made possible through contributions by the Castang Family Foundation, General Motors, and Ford Motor Company.
It's been a grueling past couple of months for the over 3,000 high school students involved in their school's robotic programs. But they come today to Grand Rapids to compete in the First in Michigan Robotics State Championship. We welcome you inside the Deltaplex. I'm Dan Gutowski along with Dave Verbrugge and Dan Kimura. An exciting afternoon of competition with Michigan Robotics. Dave, let's talk first about some of the format changes this year. It's been a basketball theme the last few years. It's a little bit different this time around, though.
That it is, Dan. This year's has a theme of recycle rush, and so you'll see the teams out there working. There's really little defense in this. You'll see them stacking totes and then trying to place on top of that recycle containers, AKA 32-gallon garbage drums, and also put a pool noodle up on top for maximum points. So again, this year's theme, recycle rush. The field components can all be recycled by the teams. They'll be able to use them after the tournament's all done.
We'll explain the scoring component a little bit later on, but Dan, let's talk about the growth of the overall spectacle here in Grand Rapids. Last year we had about 60 teams competing. This year they've almost doubled it. Where is that growth coming from and how does that happen?
Yeah, so Michigan this year has almost 350 teams, and almost 80 of them are rookies this year. So the enormous number of teams forced us to go to a bigger venue, invite more teams to our state championship.
So the energy in this building is sky high, the way it is every year. Sarah Zientarski is in the pits. Let's join her right now.
I am here in the chaotic area known as the pits at First Competitions. Now the pits are kind of like home base for each team, and each team is given a pod where they're able to work on their robots before and in between matches. Now these pods are also a great place to show team spirit. Each team does have their own team name, and they kind of decorate these pods based on that team name, creating a sort of story for the robot. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sarah. So let's take our first look at the actual competition. Dave, give us a description now that we can all see it visually as to what the three robots are trying to do on each side of the field.
Right, so when you look down on this field, you'll see there's an area where half of it has red carpet and half has blue. So the Red Alliance, all three of the robots on that side are working together, and they stay on that side of the field. Likewise, the three robots on the blue carpet over there are working together as an alliance. This is not really a game at this point that's about winning and losing. It's about getting as many points as you can. If you think more like a leaderboard in golf, where you're, round one, round two, round three, when you start adding up those scores of golf, you want the low score. This is kind of the opposite.
So here's our leaderboard now, and we can effectively take these four teams out. And these four teams are moving on to our semifinals. So let's look at these numbers, guys. Kind of a disparity between number one and number two.
Absolutely.
But again, these scores don't carry over.
That's correct. This goes away again, right? So again, it was critical to get them to this point, but now, yeah, everything is zeroed out again. So those top four alliances that now move on, those become zeros. And again, each alliance will play 3 matches.
So this is the first semifinal match. Here's the Blue Alliance, Mech Warriors, Team Rush, and the captains. Red Alliance, technical difficulties, the Flyers, and that one team.
So again, now we're underway. Again, all those matches previous, they don't mean anything. Average scores are now 0 again. And it looks like a good start for the Blue Alliance. They've got 2 of those recycle containers over on their side. And the captain's there, 30-98, scoring those 3 totes. 573, push him out of the way. Looking over the red side, they additionally had their 3 totes scored.
Drivers have to be very focused here. Those mistakes can be costly. You can see the Blue Alliance with 3 recycle bins scattered. Now they'll try to move in and pick them up. That's Team Rush pulling the first one and taking the noodle.
Yeah, they got 3 of 4 from the steps, so there's a huge advantage to the Blue Alliance as long as they can use them all.
So they lost the handle there and it falls on its side. Here's the Red Alliance. They've got 1 clean stack with a noodle and a recycle bin. You can see the Flyers robot struggling. This is that one team. They'll stack it up. Again, it's very competitive here.
Yeah, nice shot of that one team going over there.
They don't necessarily have to have more points than the other team.
That's correct. Still in the semifinals, it's about the average score you're going to get with your 3 matches that you play in these semifinals.
Mech Warriors struggling to flatten out that bin at the bottom. Now inside 20 seconds. They want to get a full complement of bins. Every bin is worth points, and you can see how close it is. They're going to go with 3 bins. They might not be able to get it up in time, though. I don't know if that's going to count for the Red Alliance. And look at how those scores came down.
Yeah. Now here you go. They just earned their way into the semifinals, and it looks like, you know, both of them were much lower here than what they did in the semis.
And right here at the end of that match, 573 lost their entire stack.
Here's our breakdown on the scoreboard. Again, this isn't what we're used to from both of these teams, but hey, the bottom line is you just want more points than your competitors right now.
Right, and they've got 2 more matches to make it up. But disappointing for both of them, right? Neither one of them went out there thinking, hey, I want 163 or I want 136. They were thinking more, I want something north of 200.
Let's take a deeper dive into the scoring aspect of the competition today. There's the point system that you get. Why don't you go ahead and explain that part of it, because obviously with all the different pieces moving all over the place, we don't know how the scores are going to go. Explain that part of it.
Sure. So the gray totes that they're stacking up have to be fully supported on the white platforms that you see. And so there's a couple of them scored on the screen right now. Those are going to be worth 2 points apiece if they're completely supported by that platform. And the green trash cans, which we call recycling containers, if those get placed on top of a stack, they're basically going to triple the value of that stack. Then you get a few extra points for the pool noodles. If you have a pool noodle in the recycling container, that's going to be 6 extra points. And there's a few different places on the floor where you can get a few bonus points for the pool noodles as well. But the majority of the scoring is going to be those stacks with the trash cans on top.
Dan, we're seeing some of these noodles fly all over the place. Explain that aspect of it. Initially, you might think, well, are they trying to shoot it into one of the top of those bins? They're not, are they?
They are not aiming for that. There's a couple benefits to throwing the pool noodles. The first one is if they can get it all the way on the other side of the field. That's one of the rare forms of defense that you can have this year. You can get those pool noodles in the way of the other robots when they're trying to make stacks. And as an added bonus, if you get the pool noodles all the way across the field, they're actually worth 4 points for you.
You can see, Dan, there's also a tether there. They had a little ramp, and you'll see there's a little cord following behind the machine. Why they do that is because then that ramp is considered part of the machine, and so they can leave a ramp there, and it helps guide that tote down into the machine.
That's very helpful to continue to keep fleshing out all the different aspects of
how teams are going to accumulate the points to advance and get to the finals. And let's identify too, Dan, if you will, the difference between the autonomous period and the tell-off period and how that rolls into this game.
Yep, so all of the matches are going to start with an autonomous period, and in the autonomous period, the robots have to be pre-programmed. So like you see now, the drivers are all standing away from the controls, and the robots are all operating based on pre-programmed instructions. That's a relatively short period, about 15 seconds. After that finishes, then the drivers are going to be able to step up to the controls and drive the robot for the rest of the match.
Let's go in the pitch with Sarah Zientarski standing by with Team Rush.
Yes, I'm here with Team Rush, who is the oldest team, one of the oldest teams in FIRST Robotics, and they actually just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm here with Andrew. You guys are in the semifinals. You're backing up that Hall of Fame kind of thing. What is your strategy in the semifinals?
So in the semifinals, what we really want to do is focus on getting the cans off of the center of the step, because we know those are a tripler for all of our gray tote stacks. And if we can get those within the first half second of a match, we know that we're the second fastest. We call them can burglars when we get them off the center. We know we're the second fastest at that in this tournament. So we can keep consistent and do that. After that, we're going to focus on capping because, like I said, those triple the value of the stacks. So we can get litter in those cans, put them on top of a 6-stack. We should have enough to make it to the finals.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Now back to you guys.
So the Blue Alliance will roll out the Gearheads, Team Robotics, and the Fighting Pie in our next semifinal match. And the Red Alliance featuring the Raptors, the Robo Stangs, and Bedford Express. So we start the autonomous period and an aggressive move to get those green recycling bins.
And here we've got a shot of Bedford Express working at autonomous. That's the Holland Christian team on the Blue Alliance side. And both of them, they do it. They each get 20 points for getting those 3 yellow totes during the autonomous period.
So Bedford Express in the back, in the high part of your screen, looking pretty efficient right now.
Yeah, to me, it's for them, it's just go to work. It's like put your hard hat on, grab your lunchbox, go to work, and just do the job.
No surprises here. There's a clean stack. And Team Robotics.
Now you see the Fighting Pie pulling up there. They had 2 stacks of 3 that they were bringing in there. Now we're in the Gearheads. Student there with a black shirt, yellow. He would be the human player for the Gearheads out of Grosse Pointe.
163 was the high score in the last semifinal match. So that one can is up for grabs to the left. Red Alliance wants it.
There's 1189, the Gearheads.
And the Blue Alliance wants that recycling bin. Neither team able to successfully grab it though.
Trying to get a hold of the bottom of that container, but just not quite enough reach.
And I wonder if 1711 here should just give up. There's a lot of crates on the ground.
Well,
if they knock anything over, yep.
Red Alliance, though, may be ready to break 200. Well, that's a good look inside of the field for the Red Alliance. Boy, they have just about nailed this. And that one tips over, but it's going to count.
Yeah, again, a solid effort. And even with 1711 struggling with that one container out there, I wasn't sure. It looked like they were trying to hand it off to 548. Wasn't quite sure what was going on there.
Yeah, I think there was a miscommunication there. It looked like they were placing it for 548, and then they re-grabbed it.
There you see the Robo-Stangs grabbing those two, the Raptors 17-11, at least tilting the one over their way, not pulling it fully across those totes. And then Bedford Express taking those 3 yellow totes. Each of them operating in their own area of the field.
There's our point total. Red Alliance at 199.
And that's showing they might be human. That's the lowest score they put up, and their first one under 200. So that's in the range of what some of these other alliances can do.
Right, so in semifinal 1, we had a 136, a 163. That was semifinal 2, we had a 180, a 199. They still had the highest score, but yeah, they are fallible, it looks like, at this point at least.
We're joined here by Patty Poppy, who is with Consumers Power. Patty, thanks for joining us today. And you got a lot of investment in what goes on here. Tell me a little bit about why Consumers Power is so involved in this aspect of the Michigan First Robotics competition.
Well, at Consumers Energy, we believe in preparing for the future. Part of preparing is preparing talent. And we see in this environment today, but also throughout the whole season, that First Robotics has cracked the code on interesting young people, getting them interested in technical careers by having fun, doing engineering and math and science. And when we met up with First a couple years ago, we realized they are our secret to reach and tap into that talent pipeline. We think that First really is a great organization for us to partner with.
Patty from Consumers Energy, Patty Poppy, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So here's our leaderboard. It is a numbers game from here on out.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't look good at all for that number 4 alliance with a 136. But again, now it's not just one more match, it's 2 more matches. So, and every alliance will play each of those other 3. So, yeah, yeah, it's safe to say nobody's out of it at this point, right? I mean,
Yeah, the number 11 alliance has a lot of work to do, but 2 good matches and they still have a chance.
Yep.
So the Blue Alliance will roll out the Gearheads, Team Robotics, and the Fighting Pie. Red Alliance, technical difficulties, the Flyers, and that one team. So our third semifinal match begins.
Yeah, so in this one, the Blue Alliance had 180 points in their first match. So a respectable, and here's a miss from Holland Christian, so they're not going to have that 20 points to begin with. The Red Alliance did get those 20 points. Now the Red Alliance had 136 in their first match, so
they need the big splash here.
They do, yeah, poor first match for the Red Alliance.
The double stack, not so easy to execute there for the Fighting Pie. Well, they're really struggling there. They're going to shift gears.
Yep. Looks like those two cooperating much better over there. Swing around, but now they've got one hanging off the top there. See that? And they swing around too fast and they lose it.
Disappointing start for the Blue Alliance. Red Alliance gets a full stack there, but no recycling barrels yet.
And now 66 does pick one up. They're going over their player station there, loading up with a piece of litter, pool noodle. Here's a shot at technical difficulties, 15:02. You know, this is great effort for this team. This is their first time to the state championship. Team out of Chelsea, and they've been playing great.
Scores fairly even. We jump over and check out the Blue Alliance, working with that recycling bin. Oh boy, that's a bold move here. They get a little help and they get a square drop. Inside 20 seconds.
And that was 1189, the Grosse Pointe North team topping that off.
So both teams maybe underperforming a little bit. Red Alliance is going to roll out 158 points unofficially. So we'll have 3 more semifinal matches. And then we'll tally up the points. Here's our scoreboard. The Red Alliance 181.
So that adds to a 136 in their first match. So obviously an improvement there. The 148 for the Blue Alliance. They had 180 in their first match. So just doing a little math there, the Red Alliance that just competed, so they had a 136 and a 181. I've got them at a 158 average. The Blue Alliance had a 180 and a 148. So I think that's putting them at about a 164 average. Now, the two to come here still in their first matches, there was a 199 and a 163. So again, this number 1 alliance with Bedford Express, the Robo-Stangs and the Raptors, clearly in charge. They just need to execute. They'll be fine. But it's going to be real tight now with these others, right? So we got a 158 average, a 164 average, and the Blue Alliance coming in this one put up 163 in the first one.
Yep. So 2 through 4, it's anybody's to take.
We are joined by Governor Rick Snyder. Governor, always great to have you as part of our broadcast here today.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it gets more and more awesome every year. Let's talk first about the growth that you have been a part of in getting this Michigan First program to where it is. They've almost doubled in terms of size. But just talk about why you continue to think this commitment from your vantage point is so important.
Well, the First Robotics program really fosters things that are our future. Everyone can see the science, technology, and engineering math part of this, and we need those critical skills. But more than that is the teamwork, getting people to cooperate, the sportsmanship of all this. It's just incredible to watch this. So I tell people today, employers, when they're looking at resumes, seeing First Robotics on a resume would mean something to me as a hiring person today. In addition to saying, hopefully it's creating a great skill set that they can use their whole life, let alone potentially going into a technical field. And to see the growth and the success. And Michigan is now the model for the future of First in terms of our growth metrics. Again, we're 345 teams now. We added 77 rookie teams this last year. Our goal is to get to 500 teams. Think about the power that will be for not just today, but in 20 years when all those alumni are in prominent positions all through Michigan. That's our future.
Governor Snyder joining us, always a fan favorite here at the Michigan First competition. Let's get back in the pits right now and rejoin Sarah Zientarski.
I'm here with Shelby and Ethan from the Bedford Express. Now, the Express, why did you guys come up with that?
Our original coach, she was an alumni of Purdue University, and she just got up with the train team.
Now, your robot is doing really well in this competition. What does it do to make it so successful?
So not only do we pick up the cans that multiply the amount of points you get in a stack, but once we pick that up, we hold on to it tightly as we stack the 6 stack, which is the max size you can get. And that's why we are so successful, because we can do that quickly and efficiently, and when we score it, it's secure.
What is your strategy here going into the afternoon?
Our strategy is to take from the human player station and just get 36 stacks with a container on top and a noodle inside the container.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck this afternoon, and back to you guys.
Thank you, Sarah. Here's the Blue Alliance, Mech Warriors, Team Rush, and the captains. Red Alliance, Bedford Express, Robo-Stangs, and Raptors. So this one starts an autonomous period that is fruitful for the Blue Alliance.
So this is the first time that the Red Alliance, the number 1 seed, did not get 3 of those trash cans. They split 2 and 2.
Yep.
So that 27 robot was able to secure 2 for their alliance.
Right. So right now, we came out of autonomous tied 20-20, and each of the alliances has 5 containers to work with.
Ooh, that's not looking so good.
Yeah, that looks precarious. Now they're square. It looks like they're pulled up a little too tight to the wall there is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
They
See if they make the correction. That was a smart move, but then they went right back into the wall.
So I think that is their loading position. They've got that pool noodle, that pink thing inside their robot, and they're using that to cushion the crate when it comes in. And I think if they back off too far, it doesn't work, and then they can end up with the flipped crates again.
Okay.
Well, this might work. And again, that's Mech Warriors for the Blue Alliance, and the Red Alliance is very good with a lot of time.
Yeah, the Red Alliance, Bedford Express moving
Look
out
at
with
this.
another stack right there. Now
They're going to have 4 stacks, all with Noodles. Blue Alliance, though, not backing down.
And now the Red Alliance, Bedford Express, has that final container. Because again, they've already got 4 on top of stacks. And so this is the last one here. Let's see how far they push it. Because they've got 13 seconds, 12 seconds, 11. They're going for it all here. They spin. They got 7 seconds.
No Noodle.
2. Wow.
They got it.
Yeah, those kids have ice water running through their veins, baby. They're in tune. They're looking good.
And we saw at the very end too, 573 left themselves not quite enough time. They had to try to rush that stack and it fell over.
And there it is, what Dan is talking about right there. Solid, solid, solid. So they're going to put up big points there. They're going to be firmly in that first position.
So here's how it starts in autonomous. Both teams executing well to get those recycle bins where they want them.
573 coming up, and well, there's a shot of Rush, 27. And there's the tumble.
The pullback is where it all fell apart.
And that was pretty much at 0 seconds on the clock.
Sarah Zientarski in the pits with some of the kids from Pershing High School. Sarah?
I'm here with Antoine, Mario, and Mario of the rookie team at Detroit Pershing. Now, guys, you have your robot here. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with your robot?
Well, our robot is elevation type robot. It lifts with the claw. It's controlled by window motors and shim motors.
And what have you guys learned just from being in first for this first year?
Learned that cooperating with others, like, improve my skills, and pretty cool. I learned how to build robots. It actually made me want to go into engineering, mechanical engineering.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much, guys. Now back to you, Dan and Dave.
Thank you, Sarah. So we keep on moving here into semifinal number 5. And we have the captains, Team Rush and the Mech Warriors in alliance number 5.
And one thing I'm seeing here is right now, Team Rush is the only team remaining that's ever been a state champ. They've done it one time, it was last year. All of the other teams, none of them have been a state champ before.
So we'll see if that experience plays out and is a factor. And here we've got the Fighting Pie, Team Robotics, and the Gearheads for alliance number 12.
So alliance number 12 in this match is going to have to set a new personal best score in this match. So they're going to have to score higher than they have in the entire playoffs in order to still have a chance to move on to the finals.
Here's the updated leaderboard, and again, now some separation between second and third. So again, these are the two teams that are moving on. These two could drop out if things stay the same.
Right, so where we're at is each of the alliances has played 2 matches. That's their average of the first 2 matches, and each alliance has 1 more match to play.
And so that number to look for Alliance 12, if they don't score 218 points or more, then they're going to be eliminated.
The Fighting Pie is in position, and it's Team Rush that grabs the 2 recycling bins on the far side for the Blue Alliance. Team Robotics goes for the stack. Well executed by them.
Yep, and similarly on the blue side, so both come out with 20 points out of autonomous.
Again, that 573 Mech Warriors robot, we've seen them struggle, specifically on those pull-ups. Not that time, but see right there is where they're gonna.
Yeah, it digs into the wall a little bit.
It digs in, and look at how the balance all shifts.
And Dan, could that be that sort of thing where you mentioned that the totes are getting a little scuffed up, that maybe they're grabbing a little more on that Lexan on that wall than they did originally?
Yeah, it definitely could be, and that's an adjustment that drive team has to make. They might have to pull back as they're lifting up and then come back forward to receive the next crate.
So a precarious drop for Team Robotics, but they get that clean with a 42-point lead.
And we're back to the Mech Warrior machine.
Boy, that is, on the turn, they
oh boy,
catch the other one.
Looking pretty precarious again.
Boy, I don't know about that.
Keep an eye on it. See if they can jiggle it over there. They successfully did that.
That was well executed.
Previously.
Very well executed. Is it good enough?
Oh
no. Boy. Oh, what a save, though.
Wow. Hold your breath,
Or not.
folks. Hold your breath. I'm sure the whole mech.
It's all going to go.
That looks like Pisa to me there. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, that is.
This could be bad, too, because
and that's
if they
not a good look.
If they spend too much time trying to correct it, see, they lost the stack, but they also lost 15, 20 seconds trying to save it.
Yeah, that's smart.
That's a double whammy, and now this machine is hung up on the Noodles. That's the Fighting Pie.
And what about the gearhead machine? It's not moving there at all, 1189.
So some stumbles on both sides of the field. The Blue Alliance is going to come out better than the Red Alliance.
Yeah, 1189 lost communication to their robot partway through that match. We have all the field techs still checking it out, so we're not sure what happened there.
As far as the machines hooking up, there you see Team 27 grabbing those 2 recycle containers. They are rock solid at doing that. They're hitting them consistently.
Here's another question for you, Dan. Have you noticed sometimes that a driver maybe doesn't have confidence in their machine?
Yeah, and then that plays a huge part in it.
And I'm singling out this one that we're watching right here.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the case, and you rely on your driver to report to you when the machine is not behaving correctly. So it's possible that there's a mechanical problem with this machine that is not a complete failure, but is making the machine not run the way that it's supposed to run.
Is your eye sharp enough to know that an average machine is doing better because of the driver?
There are some things you can see. I think pathing is something, the direction that they drive the robot from point A to point B. There's always an optimal line that you want to take, and that's one place where you can tell the driver versus machine. When you see some robots that have to be very precise to pick up the bin, or you know from experience or from talking to them that they've got to be dead on to pick the bin up, and they're still grabbing them fast and stacking them up, then you know that's got to be a lot of driver contribution.
So that's how the dust settles on the score. Blue Alliance 162 and 141 for the Red Alliance. So one last semifinal there's some good things happening off the field here in terms of some robotics efforts as Sarah Zientarski joins us now. Sarah, did you tell us that it's about robotic synthetic hands? Did I get that right?
Yes, I'm here with Heidi of Frog Force, and their team actually creates prosthetic hands for kids. Now, can you tell us who's going to be getting these hands and what the hand does?
So we are partnering with Enable, a nonprofit organization that is going to match children with hand differences to people like us who are manufacturing these hands. These are completely almost 3D printed, with spare the parts here, which are strings and elastics. These will be given to children in underserved regions like Vietnam and Mexico. We are partnering with other FIRST teams and a local research hospital and a local makerspace to produce 100 of these hands to be delivered to Enable on April 28th. This particular hand is called the Raptor Reloaded. It is for a child with wrist function, so the end of the wrist would go here, and as I flex down, the hand would go down with it.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. This is such a good thing. Back to you, Dan and Dave.
Wow, she gets an A for concept, and she gets an A for presentation.
Here we're coming up next. We've got that one team, the Flyers, and technical difficulties on the blue side of the field. And then our number one alliance. They've been number one here all throughout these playoffs. Bedford Express, the Robo-Stangs, and the Raptors.
Oh, we're set up now for our last semifinal match of Blue Alliance. And we'll see how things shake down here. It's a point total. The top two are the ones that are going to be in the finals.
Right, and if you remember, it's 209 the Blue Alliance has to score here, 209 points.
That's a whole bunch. Well, they got off to a good start in the autonomous period.
And again, the Red Alliance is solidly in first right now. So they only need something, like Dan, 100 points or something?
Yeah, 91.
Yeah, 91. So they should be golden.
Well, that's a pretty good pickup there. Now we'll flip it and go to the Blue Alliance. And here's the Flyers. They don't have to be quite as aggressive. So there's a clean drop for them. Red Alliance is the one that's got to pile it on.
But vice versa, Dan. The Red Alliance is...
They're good, right?
Yeah, the Red Alliance is in good shape. It's the Blue Alliance that needs that 209.
I was going to say, well, the Red Alliance would have been in good shape, but they don't need it. Blue Alliance needs a lot more than what they got.
Yeah, so right now the Red Alliance, they've already got enough points. Boom, they are in. The Red Alliance is moving on.
They've been the most consistent.
Absolutely. They've looked solid in every match they've been out there. Now this is the Flyers again, coming across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see that one team in the back, their partners.
They're executing well. Only under 20 seconds though. This will be a pretty good round for the Blue Alliance.
But again, Dan tells us we need 209. They're going to need 209 to move on.
That doesn't look like they're going to get enough.
No, the Red Alliance, solid again.
Wow, 231. And they didn't need anywhere near that much.
Yeah, so the Red Alliance, they move into the finals.
Yep.
They're definitely there. The Blue Alliance, if that real-time scoring was accurate, it looks like they're going to come up a little bit short.
Let's get to our scoreboard of the Alliance. The Red Alliance, a gaudy 239-point effort, and you know, the Blue Alliance, there's no shame in that. Just under 200, but it's not enough. Dean Caiman joins us now. Dean is the person that started all of it 20 plus years ago, the founder of FIRST, coming to Michigan for this event today. Dean, talk about where this idea came from, and are you surprised that it has blossomed the way that it has today?
This idea came from a simple fact. I'm an inventor, right? What do inventors do? We look at solving problems, but we look at the same problem everybody else looks at and see them differently. I said the whole country back then was concerned that we have an education crisis. I said it can't be an education crisis. My mom's a teacher. We all grew up. We all know great teachers. It's not about education. It's about culture. It's not about what we don't have enough of. It's what we have too much of, distractions. This country, compared to any other country in the world, created superstars in the world of sports and entertainment to the exclusion of the superstars of science, technology, engineering, inventing. And I said, in this free country of ours where you get the best of what you celebrate, kids have to start celebrating again technology and problem solving and inventing. Wilbur and Orville Wright and Thomas Edison and the Google boys. How do you make them do that? We know what works. Sports. Make it exciting. Make it competitive. Don't give them quizzes and tests. Give them trophies. Bring the school band. Bring the mascots. Bring the cheerleaders. So 25 years ago, I said, if I can go to world-class technology companies that have the superstars the way the athletic teams have their superstars, and I can put the superstars of tech together with the kids of this generation, we will create a whole new culture among kids, particularly women and minorities that never see scientists and engineers as fun and exciting and cool. And from the day we started this, we've been growing at a phenomenal rate. And we reached a point where we had to go, like all other sports, to scale. And the people that are helping us bring it to scale are Michigan. And Michigan now is the model. It's leading the country in demonstrating that we can reach our original goal, which is to make FIRST available to every kid in this country.
Dean, you have been a true champion to all the kids here. We thank all of your efforts and appreciate your making your trip here today.
And we thank you. And one thing I can assure you, as much time and effort and energy as everybody's putting into this, every single stakeholder gets more out of it than they put in, because the kids are going to have transformed career opportunities. The companies are going to have world-class people to take over and give them global competitive advantages. The schools are getting kids that are suddenly passionate about learning. Everybody that touches FIRST is a winner. So thanks for doing this.
Safe travels, Dean. We'll see you back in Detroit in 2018.
Thank you.
Dean Caiman, the founder of FIRST. Glad to have him stop by and share his time with us and talk about all that you can see here today in Grand Rapids. So we've thinned out the field to just two alliances, one red, one blue. And the top two are the ones that will compete. And a wide point gap of almost 50 points. But again, no carryover. And the alliance consisting of Bedford Express, Robo-Stangs, and Raptors, they've been great, but they've got to do it one last time.
That's right, and now that we're into the finals, we're no longer going to play the leaderboard highest average score game. It's going to be head-to-head. Whoever scores more points in that match gets a win. First team to win twice is going to be our champions.
Here's the Blue Alliance, Mech Warriors, Team Rush, and the captains. Red Alliance, Bedford Express, Robo-Stangs, and Raptors.
So Bedford Express, clearly from Bedford, the Robo-Stangs out of Northville, and the Raptors from Traverse City.
Dan, is there any experience factor that would give one of these two alliances an edge?
I mean, both of these teams have played about the same number of matches this year, so for the field crews that are out there, for the drivers that are out there, they're going to be pretty evenly matched.
That's the Robo-Stangs at the front of your screen. They pull one away, but miss on the other one. So not necessarily a clean start.
Right, and that could be an opening for the Blue Alliance. They need to go after that can immediately upon driver control.
Yeah, that was a bit of chink in the armor. One of the first ones we've seen from that Red Alliance that they missed that.
And it looks like 27 is not going straight for it, so they're giving 17-11 a chance to correct that mistake.
17-11's first move is to try to upright one of the containers that is already on their side of the field.
Now we flip it over to Robo-Stangs. Looking solid with 5 bins. And they won't take the 6th.
Dan, why not 6 in that one? Well, that was Bedford Express going for 5 rather than 6. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I wonder if there's an issue with the robot. Actually, that looks 6 tall. So we have 548 who goes 5 tall, and Bedford who's been doing 6s.
I'm sorry. Yep, you're right. Yeah, the Bedford stack is 6 tall. It was the Robo-Stangs that went.
And that last can is still sitting on the step. And I think that can is the match. So I don't understand why 27 here is going for the other can.
Yeah, 17-11 is trying to work towards it. They're stretching. They're trying to reach it. They've got to get one more bin out of the way, it looks like. They're trying to hook that handle. Just can't quite get there.
They're determined to get it, though. That's the Raptors robot for the Red Alliance. And they can't. Now they're going to be able to get that bin. But can they lift it? Boy, this is a lot of time invested. Boy, they're going to get it now. See if they can latch on. Boy, the scoring is very close.
So if Red can get that can scored, then it's a huge mistake by Blue to leave it there.
And the Robo-Stangs are right there waiting for it. Oh, easy by the Robo-Stangs. 17-11 did a nice piece of work getting that recycle container.
So let's flip it and go to the Blue Alliance. Boy, 3 solid stacks there. Got to watch out for that one in the corner there inside 5 seconds. Red Alliance in good shape. They're going to drop it. Blue Alliance gets a late push. What a great finish for the Blue Alliance. Wow.
And I want to say again, that can, the Red Alliance scored that can, and I think that was the difference in the match. And 27 had plenty of time to go for that one.
Right, so they each got 5 cans. So all 10 of our recycle cans are sitting up there on top of a stack.
So what's the difference? It's got to be in the gray bins, because each team had all 5 barrels up and 4 noodles in each barrel.
So you had the shorter stack on the blue side, and then you had one additional stack, I believe, of 5 crates on the red side with no can on top.
Here's the move. They had to take extra time to get it, but the Raptors robot.
And look at that, they set it right down in front of the Robo-Stang machine. Robo-Stang's almost a little too quick there. That would have been the difference right there.
Yeah, if that can doesn't go up, they lose the match, so.
Here we go.
So the Red Alliance in the driver's seat.
The Blue Alliance making it very, very close. Wow, what a match. 238 to 220.
And that, I mean, so close. And that can they put up was on a 5 stack. So that can they put up was worth 20 points. And that was the difference.
Let's bring in Sarah Zientarski right now. Sarah talking with the team that has the highest points of the day. Sarah?
Yes, I'm with Niraj, who is with the Robo-Stangs. I know they were part of the Red Alliance, who scored 260 points. How were you guys able to do that?
So basically, we went to the build season this year, basically aiming to get as many points as possible, and we figured out in the first week the design we wanted to go with, and we stuck to that design. And whenever we made parts, we test them and we make sure they all work, and we just make sure that everything's smooth sailing.
How do the other 2 teams in your alliance help you guys out?
The other 2 teams in our alliance. So Bedford is really good at making 6 stacks consistently. So they would pump out 2 6 stacks with the 2 upright cans that are by our alliance station. We take our first upright can that's by our alliance station, and our human player would give us noodles, and then our opposing alliance, 17-11, they'd upright the can so we pull an autonomous, and the one can that we actually built a mechanism to help them pull a can off of the step during autonomous as well. So instead of just our robot pulling 2, we get an extra can, and then they operated those 3 cans, so we'd be able to pick those up and make stacks.
Well, congratulations on that score, and good luck in the rest of the competition. Back to you guys.
All right, Sarah, thanks. Well, he thought everything out. That was very detailed and complete. Blue Alliance 220 points, but they're going to have to win the next go-around, or the Red Alliance will be champions.
And I guess having seen that first match, Dan, the fact that they put up 220, I think they got to bank on, okay, we're going to do that again, and hope that the Red Alliance blinks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just based on the fact that 548 missed one of those cans last time shows that, you know, there might be an opening there. And you can always take a chance on that happening again instead of trying to outrace them.
All the pressure on the Blue Alliance. They're facing elimination.
So, Dan, let me ask you this, like the Robo-Stangs, if they do miss one of them, can that machine be reloaded and likewise go after it a second time?
It can, but because they drive in auto mode, it means they're going to have to get back to that spot and line up again. And we can just see before the match how much time they spend lining that up, lowering the arms to check that it's in position. So it's doable, but it's going to be hard to line up.
We're so pumped to start this match. Joel, let's go in.
So this could be our last match of the day as the autonomous period begins, and right out of the chute.
Oh, look at this. 17-11 has tied up Rush at the center of the field. They're both hooked into it right there. No, Rush has retracted their arms.
Well, that changes a whole lot of things.
Oh, boy.
But 548 missed one too, and 27 is right there to get it, so they still have a chance.
Look at Rush going over there this time. Trying to clear the path.
They're going to grab that one. A nice take there for Team Rush and the Blue Alliance. They have to beat the Red Alliance in this round or they will be done.
That's right, it was the Red Alliance 238 to 220 in that first one.
See the captain's there with a clean drop.
Rush going to cap that now.
Just enough, and a solid drop there. But the Red Alliance, all business. They have been setting the standard all afternoon here.
But it's tight in our real-time scoring, 110 to 106.
548 slowed down a little bit there. They got one bin flipped sideways, and that slowed them down.
Here comes the captains, and Rush is right there.
All eyes on the Blue Alliance.
Another one capped.
That's 3. But they've got one that's got 5 blocks, not 6. Wow.
On the red side, we see 2 with 6 and 2 with 5. On the blue, we see 2 with 6 and 1 with 5.
We're trying to keep up with the scoring, but there's so much happening so quickly. The Blue Alliance trying to...
Now here's the captains. They get a third stack of 6, and there's Rush right there to top it.
Oh, they almost lost that. And that, look at that recycling bin just dangling there. And that might do it.
That's going to be the difference right there. It's going to be the Red Alliance.
The Robo-Stangs, Bedford Express, and the Raptors. And oh, how close was the Blue Alliance to getting that green recycling bin up there.
A valiant effort. Of course, we don't have the official final score yet, but it looks like we have 3 first-time state champions here. The Alliance captain, Bedford Express, their first choice, the Robo-Stangs, and the Raptors as the second choice. Great alliance. I mean, their lowest score, Dan, I think was 199 in this playoff.
It was, yep.
That's awesome.
They're going to post the final tally in a moment. You can see it here. The crowd will react to it momentarily. 246 points.
Here's a look at the drive team, waiting for that score to come up on the Jumbotron. There it is. It's official. Your 2015 First in Michigan State champions, Bedford Express, out of Bedford, Temperance, Michigan. the Robo-Stangs from Northville and the Raptors out of Traverse City.
Well, if there was ever a doubt which team, which alliance had the best three robots, they laid it all to rest. There's no question.
I agree. They were the best in the octofinals, they were the best in the quarterfinals, they were the best in the semifinals, and they were the best in the finals.
Yep, but our Blue Alliance here made it a lot closer than I think most of us expected.
I totally agree. The Blue Alliance did a great job there in those two matches.
And if that last recycling bin stays on, they'd have had maybe almost 200 points too.
Yeah, it wouldn't,
close.
It wouldn't have been enough, right? Even if they got
right,
that last
they couldn't
one.
have extended the third match, but
would have put them in the low 200s.
Yeah,
still another big score.
Sure, they had 220 points
in
the first final match. It's been an exciting day here at the Deltaplex in Grand Rapids. That'll wrap it up for us here. Thanks so much for being part of our broadcast. The first in Michigan Robotics State Championship for my partner Dave Verbrugge and Dan Kimura and Sarah Zientarski. I'm Dan Gutowski. We say so long from the Deltaplex here in Grand Rapids.
ITC operates, builds, and maintains the electric transmission infrastructure. We are working hard to improve electric reliability and increase electric commission capacity throughout our operations across the Midwest. ITC, we're your energy superhighway.
The 2015 First in Michigan State Robotics Championship is made possible through contributions by the Castang Family Foundation, General Motors, and Ford Motor Company.